Hey everyone, this is Brian with Trade Masters, bringing you another edition of information about one of the tools that Trade Masters currently offers, the Sentinel Strike Zone. Let's get ready to dive on in. This is going to be about a 5 to 10 minute session at most. There's not a lot to this particular tool, very, very simple pro grade trading signals, but you need context. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. And so, what is Strike Zone? Again, it's a private Telegram alert stream that's powered by Sentinel. The big idea here is the strike zone is just kind of the tap on the shoulder that says, hey, something's getting ready to happen or possibly setting up. That's all it's supposed to do. So if a trader wants to outsource their own thinking, um, alerts are going to hurt you. And what I mean by outsourcing, you're buying a signal system without fully understanding the context with which it is being traded. So be very, very careful to outsource thinking because usually when you outsource your own thinking, you also outsource your own responsibility to that trade. And when you start losing, you blame the signal. So if a trader wants to accelerate their discipline execution, then alerts can help. But you must have discipline and have context within that trade. So our promise for you from Trade Masters is to provide you just a little bit of clarity when it comes to alerts and some of the traps that you can go into. You know what alerts are, but with Sentinel Strike Zone, you know what it is, especially if you're in our live sessions. You also know where it comes from, which is our Sentinel trading system. And we're going to teach you how you can validate it with the same framework that we teach live. So it's more than just, hey, I'm going to get a signal, take all trades. We're going to talk about that very thing. Signals can be a real trap. The longer I've been trading, the less I like seeing signals. Because what I've seen is so many people blow up their accounts, and signals are, to me, are more not about trading as much as it is your psychology behind it. Most signal services don't fail because the signal is bad or evil or fake or any of that nonsense. It usually fails because the trader has handed over the complete responsibility of an entry without any sort of plan behind it. So again, it's more psychological. So that framework of thinking might come, well, I'm just too busy to be looking at charts, number one. Then maybe you need to go to a swing trading system instead of an alert system. Or maybe you have blown up several accounts and you don't trust yourself to trade anymore. And then maybe you want to consider a copy system. And Trade Masters is working on a copy system as well from traders who are having success. But alerts, you take a little bit of responsibility, and if you don't have context around it, you end up blaming people. So common failures of signals are regular patterns. You can search them online and you can easily find what are the common patterns of failure for people who use signals. And I put a couple of ideas together on my notes as I was developing this system tonight for this presentation. When you outsource the thinking, you outsource the responsibility. So if it loses, it's always the signal's fault. So you don't have to do, you just blame the signal and you go on to the next hype. That's what you end up going to. You're looking for the new silver shining object that might bring you the hope that you're looking for. Common failure is also no context. You get an alert and you just take it, but you're not looking to see what's going on with the news. You're not looking to see if it's in a bad session time. You're not looking to see if it's in chop. You're not looking to see if it's a weak pair. You're not looking, you just take it because somebody else told you to. Another pattern, your risk structure is completely blown away. You're oversizing your lots, maybe, or you're moving stops because you have no trade plan. You revenge trade because surely the signal system has to be working because it's working for so many people. So I've got to get this trade back. I can't afford to lose any more money. That's revenge trading. Another pattern I found to be true. There's no learning loop here. A person who just takes a signal is not learning anything. The trader never improves their skills. They just chase the next hope. That's all they're doing. So strike zone, I'm hoping, our hope and prayer is that strike zone is designed to break you from that hope cycle and replace it hopefully with a repeatable workflow. Now, everybody's going to trade strike zone differently because they're going to use different context tools to help them guide. So let's just know the alert systems are highly psychological. So again, our alert strike zone doesn't They don't exist in just a vacuum. You don't just all of a sudden pay for a signal and you don't have any context. We make sure that it sits inside of a bigger framework. We talk about Sentinel Strike Zone in regularly in our sessions. You'll see it on our charts. We'll talk about why we're taking it, how we're taking them. Now, when you get an alert, you're getting it from trade masters. You're not getting it from Al. You're not getting it from my own personal trading. It's actually in its own account, following the rules that we put out on the report, and it's doing it itself. Okay. So it's not my personal rules because I do a little thing a little bit different. It's not Al's personal rules because he does a little things different. So you need to have a little bit of context. So framework that you can understand and see is we provide teaching moments in Sentinel Live that you can actually see what's going on and what it's doing. We also publish that weekly report. It gives you a macro view, which is huge, and it does give you some pair expectations. Those pair expectations come from what's happened in the past 3 or 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It also gives us what's happened in the future for the upcoming months. Like some pairs act differently from January to March than they do from April to June. So we keep all those things and potentials in mind when we give you your pair expectations. We set our charts very intentionally. Then the alerts flow from that setup. We're not randomizing things. But you are still the framework within which you work. You still have to validate your alert with a context tool. It doesn't have to be one of ours. I highly recommend Hercules. I highly recommend Atlas. I highly recommend Sherlock. I think they're fantastic. Of course I do. We helped develop them, or we developed them ourselves, one of the two. So we are kind of tied to those, but those aren't the only ones. Find the context tool that makes the most sense to you and use that to guide you. You must have context. The trader, you have to execute with your own risk plan. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a signal service and I know that the person I've asked, what size account are you trading? $25,000. Well, most of our traders that are coming in to learn don't have $25,000 to sit on. They maybe have 500, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 5,000, but that's much different than 25,000. So an alert system set up for $25,000 looks a lot different than one that's set up for $1,000 or $2,000. So you need to have the risk plan in place. We can only do so much. So the key thing I want you guys to know in this session is the alert is just your trigger, but your plan is your protection of that. And so be very, very careful because the worst thing you can do is follow into option one where there's no plan at all. And we want to save you time. We want to make it rewarding. We want you to take personal responsibility. That's what we want. This is the heart of Strike Zone. We are not trying to spam trades. The goal is fewer, cleaner opportunities, not more opportunities, where you can trade with confidence and some restraint. And Sentinel's quality gating that we talked about in our Sentinel section is filtering. It's all about filtering out those almost trades, the ones that don't quite meet out. They won't meet out. So we have a lot of systems in place, but Strike Zone is all about delivering that right moment. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. There is nothing guaranteed. However, if used properly within context with proper risk management, you're going to find yourself finding a rhythm. Now, again, Strike Zone is not going to provide you with constant notifications. There are days we don't get any signals, as it should be. There are days we get 3 or 4, as it should be. You don't want to take anything. So here's another concern I have, and this is from conversations I've had with people outside of our membership as well as inside of our membership. If you're addicted to action, you're wanting those alerts, you wanted those alerts, you're going to feel really uncomfortable with this at first if you choose to do it right, because it's going to take discipline. Because discipline is what protects your accounts from blowing up. Okay. So I'm just being real transparent here. I love signals, but I definitely hate sharing them because people tend to stop thinking, and that's not what they're intended to do. Okay, so don't stop thinking. So what an alert gives you very, very specifically, you'll typically see this is intentionally structured this way. It's not spoon feeding you anything. It's going to give you what kind of trend, what kind of type of trade it's going to be. We're only sticking with confirmed trend sells at this point, or confirmed trend buys. It will give you the pair, the time frame, the entry that you should take or near there. And the stop is based on the percentage risk that I have in our system for a $2,000 account. So be very, very careful to make sure it fits your risk parameters. It gives you enough information to map the trade yourself, but it's still going to require you to confirm the environment. And that little hint at the very, very bottom there, it says hint. That's very important. Again, you don't have to use those specific tools, but those are very, very, very important. They're going to help you decide if that alert fits today's condition. Do you want to be in that trade? And sometimes you don't. And sometimes sitting on your hands is much better than rushing to the next signal. Again, this is the win part. Okay. This is your checklist. And the cool part of it is Sentinel does number two mainly for you, especially if you are just getting the alerts and not getting the Sentinel system itself. Okay. You don't have to have the Sentinel system itself. Okay. So if you do nothing else, do this, do these checklists. And this should not take you a long time because that's the big key with alerts. I don't have time to look at the screen. I just want to take the alert. That is the wrong mindset. Then you probably want to move into a swing session because you don't have time. Okay. The fastest way you can blow up a signals program is to treat it as a command to be in a trade. But the fastest way to benefit is just to run a 60 to 90 seconds. That's it. 1 to 1.5 minute checklist every time an alert comes in. Do these things. Does it align with your weekly report? Is the pair a go on the week? Any major news risks that you're aware of? The timing and sessions, I've kind of programmed those into Sentinel already. So you shouldn't be getting an alert when it's not a session to get an alert. Context tools, we've already talked about. Trade with the plan and then have your risk and emotions in check. Take a screenshot of that checklist and follow it. You are allowed to pass on a trade. Passing on a trade is just as important of a skill as executing a trade. Professionals traders do not take every trade. They don't need to trade constantly. They need to trade well. If you're trading somebody else's money and you know you are going to get called out if you mess up, you're not taking every trade. You're being very, very diligent on those trades that you select. So we also have some risk guardrails that we put in here where this is where most people break down. This is where most people will blow up their accounts. Alerts don't blow up your account. Okay. Your behavior does. Okay. Take a screenshot of this. There are some non-negotiables. Have a reasonable risk factor. So the stops that I give you on the alerts may not fit you completely, or they could, but make sure that you put the right risk to that stop. Okay. Don't move it up and down 1% here. And the next one you're doing 0.5%. Then you go keep it consistent. Okay. Don't add to losers. Don't move your stop. It's either you're going to win or you're going to lose. No backing up. Do nothing. Your max loss rule, stop after two losing trades in a day. Or you got a two risk reward on that session. Completely definitely negative two, you want to be done. Make sure you follow the execution habits and log those trades. Uh, if a trader is inconsistent with risk, there's not one tool out there that's been formatted that's going to save you from blowing up your account. So, as a coach, if you're listening to the coach side of me, your biggest edge isn't the alert. It's actually repeating good decision making. Okay. Clarity, structure, execution. Clarity, structure, execution. So, again, I'm going to go right back to personal responsibility because that's what signals are all about. This is very close to my heart. This is where maturity shows up. Owning the outcome. Strike Zone is built to help you be diligent, but diligence is your choice, and it's still a choice. So when you win, stay humble and don't get prideful. When you lose, stay disciplined. Either way, stick to the plan no matter what. Trade for 50, minimum of 50 trades before you adjust anything. I would always encourage a minimum of 100 trades is your best format before you have true questions of why things aren't working. Okay. A clean no trade day is always a winning day. You don't have to trade every day. You don't need more signals. You need more consistency and less noise. Follow the plan, you'll grow. Even on a losing trade, it will happen. So how do you get the most out of Strike Zone before we end our session here? Do your best to attend some live sessions to learn why certain things happen. Okay. Strike Zone is meant to serve you, it's not to control you. Use those weekly reports kind of as your weekly playbook. If you want results, don't chase the alerts. Just build a repeatable routine. Keep Sentinel, Hercules, Atlas, Sherlock on your charts for confirmation. Now, I already know those are add-ons except for Sherlock. Maybe you can't afford that at this point. Find something you can use context with. Okay. That's the key. Sherlock is free to you as a member. Use it. Find out how to correlate Sentinel with Sherlock. Start small and improve your process before you start scaling risk up. So start with a 0.5%, then scale it up as you go. And if you're new, always ask questions. Focus on the process. The fruit comes with time. The community is going to be a huge help for us as we continue to grow the community, and you don't have to trade alone. Now, I am a full-time worker. I am not always available to answer your questions immediately, but I am here to help answer questions whenever I can. Al is here as well. He is a full-time trader, so he is also available, but he is also retired, so he takes some days off as well. So be patient with your questions. We will get to them as quickly as possible. Again, thank you for being a part of this session. It was a very, very quick session. Here's a way to stay in communication with us. Definitely check out the website. Here's our general Telegram channel. It is not our members only Telegram channel. We do have the question all the time, who to use as a broker. We're not recommending the broker necessarily, but this is the team broker that we use. A lot of our team members use this broker. Lots of great things about them. I could go on and on with them. TradingView, again, if you don't have TradingView, there's a team link that we can also help each other out. We are going to be going into MT4, MT5 in the near future, so you're going to want to have one of those options as well. And again, you're on YouTube, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. Definitely like the video. That helps us. Put comments down in the video that help you, maybe what you learned from the video, what you're looking for in the next video, what do you want to learn. We do read those comments. And then follow us on Instagram. I hope this session was helpful for you guys. I appreciate you guys going through these series of videos, learning a little bit more about Trade Masters and the tools that we're creating. There are going to be more in the future as well. So great things in store. Definitely keep in touch with us if you have any questions. God bless everyone. Take care.